What's going on, everybody? Welcome to A Freelance Artist Journey. In this episode, I thought I would share a little bit of more detail about the project that I'm currently working on. So over the past few videos, I've been talking about a lot of different topics as you watch me create this comic book cover, but I haven't really addressed what this was and why I'm doing it. So I thought I'd take the time to share that with you now. With this project, my goal was to try a new style and apply that to a dream project. Because a lot of times our portfolio is full of work that we've either done from school or client work, client jobs and projects that we've gathered over the years. And so that can lead to compromised work in some cases. Some cases clients don't know what they want and they have a certain thing in their mind and you just have to do it ultimately. And so it leads to art that is not maybe your best work or not something that you can totally be passionate about. It may not be something that you want to put in your portfolio. And so we pick and choose the best of what we've done and we put that into our portfolio. But I started to think, as I looked at my portfolio from over the years, I looked at it and I said, is this the best representation of who I am as an artist? And I couldn't honestly say yes, even though the work was good and, maybe it was good enough to get more work. And a lot of people liked it and praised it and that kind of thing. But as an artist, you can never be satisfied with your latest piece. You've always got to be pushing yourself to do more, to do better. And so, my goal now is to replace a lot of my work with assignments that I give myself. And so this is one of them. I thought I grew up reading comic books. And so I said, the cover is like that piece that hooks you. It's the piece that kind of gives you an encapsulation of what the story is going to be about. It forces you to open the pages to read it. And so that's usually like the best picture of the book in some cases, but not always. So I said, that's what I would always want to do is, always want to do the covers. And so I gave myself the assignment of doing 5 comic book covers of a particular character that I create and kind of telling the story of this character. And so this is what we're looking at now. And as you can see, the main character's name is the title of the book, which is Mila. And basically, to give a little rundown of the character, she is a nun that is kind of struggling with who she is. She has kind of been chosen by God to carry out an assignment, and God endows her with the powers needed to take on this job. And it's kind of a vigilante story, partial vigilante story, partial detective type noir story. But she's a nun, so she has to struggle with kind of getting her hands dirty, in some cases defending herself, and in the process, maybe even killing people. And the struggle of being a servant of the Lord and at the same time taking life, because we equate God with life, and to kill is a sin. Murder is a sin, that kind of thing. That's one of the 10 commandments. And so when does our faith or when does self-preservation conflict with our faith and belief in being pro-life? When does, because there is a line there, and lines get blurred, and there's gray areas where you need to defend yourself, you need to defend your family, you need to defend your ideas, and you may have to take a life in defense of that. How does God look at that? How do we relate to that and relate to God in that? How do we see ourselves? A lot of times, if you look at comic book characters like Batman, and a lot of people said, Batman doesn't kill. And the more recent depictions of Batman, in particular, Batman versus Superman, he's mowing people down, you know. And a lot of people were up in arms over the fact that Zack Snyder depicted Batman as this, almost Rambo-styled killing machine. And they were upset about it. And it's understandable to a degree, but with times changing and, people wanting to see darker characters, this is kind of the direction we're going in. Even we even see a darker Superman. And so, I always had a challenge with that. The idea that a superhero can't kill, because, that's the typical idea of a comic book character, a superhero, that they don't take life. And, I always looked at Batman in particular, and I said, if he just went ahead and killed the Joker, then there would be a lot less pain and suffering for a lot of the other characters. Just take the guy out. There comes a point where you just you have to do the hard thing. If you know that this person is no good, they tell you that they're no good and that they will continue to do bad things, you have to take that person out, don't you? And this is a question that, it's a hard one to have to answer. But, if we look at throughout history, certain people, they just have to die. I'm sorry. Adolf Hitler, he just had to go. And so I feel like for certain comic book characters, for certain superheroes, the vigilante style of justice is something that needs to be considered. And so for this particular character, she struggles with the fact that she's a nun. And then, she's kind of moonlighting as this vigilante type detective at night. So that's kind of the idea of this story and the character Mila. And Mila is short for Milagro, which is Spanish for miracle, or a tool of miracles, or a tool that brings forth miracles. So this cover is the first picture of her that we see, her in all of her glory, and kind of what it's about. And so, you can continue to follow this. If you go back a few videos, you see the beginning stages of me sketching this out. And here I would say I'm about maybe 50 to 60% of the way through it. Starting to work on the title name, and you will soon see me begin to fill in with value and then start to color it. Yeah, this is the idea. This is the project that I'm on, and these 5 fictitious comic book covers. And going forward, you'll see me complete the series, and then kind of from there, who knows where we'll go with this. But thanks for hanging in there with me. I hope you've enjoyed it. And until next time, God bless.